Hey everybody, it's Matt Swires, author of The Maverick Method, How to Win the Startup Game, and founder of the Trademark Company. And today we are dealing with the subject, making generational differences in the workplace irrelevant. Okay, we all know that there can be a lot of tension in the workplace between different generations. Just to go through the generations, you've got the boomers who are in their late 50s to their early 70s. And, these are the type of people that were raised in the workplace. They would basically work, at one place for, 50 years, and on their day of retirement, they'd get a shiny pen and they would be happy, and that would be it. Then there you got the Gen Xers. That's my generation. People who are basically, probably like sort of in their 50s, basically the boomers kids. And we did job hop a little bit more, but for the most part, our view was, and I can always remember my former bosses saying this to me, on Friday night as I would be walking out, hey, what time will you be in on Saturday? And you'd be like, what? Saturday? But anyways, but we were known for basically working days, nights, weekends, and all that. And then you get to the millennials. Now remember, millennials unfortunately have been sort of cast as a more interesting generation, shall we say. But in fairness, to the extent that you ever want to say something negative about the millennials, remember, they didn't create themselves. We Gen Xers created them. So remember, if you have a finger pointing at millennials, 4 fingers are pointing back at you as a Gen Xer. But the millennials are known for basically wanting their freedom, working like a 9-to-5 job and all that. And maybe there's some tension that goes on, especially between Gen Xers and boomers and millennials, because Gen Xers and boomers will just basically be like, well, work days, nights, and weekends, and millennials will be like, but I've got a soccer game at 5. And you just have to deal with that. And of course, then there's the Gen Zs. Man, we don't even know where they're going to be, but I'm sure that they're going to be a great generation. The point would simply be is everyone has their strengths and weaknesses in all generations. So we've got to come together in the workplace and make really get the job done for the actual company. So how do you do that with sort of eliminating the stressors between? I know my fallback always is just work harder, work more hours. But that doesn't always work well, and it doesn't really work or mesh with someone who has more of a millennial mindset that says, hey, I've worked really hard, it's 5 o'clock, I want to get out of here. So what I found over the years that works really, really well, aside from talking really fast, is number one, just simply define each position, what the goals are and what the requirements are for it. And then number two, hold them to it. It's that simple. So it doesn't matter if the person who's working for you is in Gen Z, Gen X, a millennial, a boomer, whatever the case may be. Here it is. So if you can get it done at 9 to 5, what do I care? I'm not going to say, hey, see you on Saturday like my bosses used to do, if they're getting their job done between 9 to 5. Now, if they're not getting it done between 9 to 5, when they come to you and it's, review time or otherwise, well, you didn't get your job done. But I had a soccer game. Well, you made that choice. But I'm sorry, you just didn't get your job done. But again, you can put in more hours, or you can focus more at work while you're actually there. One of the biggest challenges that we deal with is this Google mentality that everyone wants to have slides at work these days because Google's made it fun. But one of Google's big secrets is they've made it fun because their employees never leave. It's basically, there's almost sort of like this awesome trick that Google does, that they've made work so fun that the people end up putting in 12, 14-hour days, I believe, and so sure, they play with Legos and all that sort of stuff, but they end up still giving 10, 11, 12 good hours to Google every day while they do it. So your challenge with some of the younger generations is they'll look at that Google-like sort of workplace and they'll say, well, I want that, and they don't realize that they're actually, those people that work for Google are still working their buns off all day long. But once again, how do we cut through all of this? Boomers, man, I'm going to work 50 years and have a pen. We Gen Xers just think we're the hardest working people ever for the most part, and the millennials, they all have soccer games. The point would simply be is just define each position, tell them what is expected, and tell them if you want to get this, if you can get it done within 9 to 5, awesome. If it's going to take longer than 9 to 5, it's still the position. That's what you have to do, and it's your choice whether to succeed or not with this company. Those are my tips for basically getting through any of the friction between the generations. Just simply be very clear about the positions and hold them to it. Alrighty, I hope this has been somewhat helpful. Leave comments, thoughts, concerns down below. As always, there's a lot more of this in the actual book, but thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic day.